this concept of slow success, it's not popular at all.
If you're trying to learn a new skill, if you're trying to do anything worthwhile, you've got to do it in the quiet times.
There's a price to pay. If you got it too fast, you would break your system.
So yesterday we went to Chicago, right? And we stopped at this cafe. Great time, Wes and I. And we were sitting there drinking this Ethiopian whoosh whoosh, whatever, delicious coffee. A lot like our Guji. And I asked him, I was like, all right, 2 questions. You're a superhero and you got one superpower. What is it?
That's a big question.
Wes landed on basically teleportation, but he was afraid that it would make him lazy. And I was like, nah, dude, you'd spend more time helping people.
Well, I kind of my first thought was like having the ability to be multiple places at once.
That was where my gut went to. I was like, man, I wish I could duplicate myself. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but that might be kind of scary at the same time because then it dilutes your personal touch.
Yeah.
Because you can be multiple places.
Oh, dude, that's a whole episode in itself. We could talk about.
So, what's your big one?
What I landed on was think mind reading.
Okay.
But not entirely, because that takes the magic out of human interaction.
Spontaneous.
So, not mind reading, but just short of it, so that I could still have skills to like want to understand like where someone's coming from, not just like you're thinking I'm wearing a white hat and a black shirt right now, and like that takes the joy and that.
So kind of like more emotional intellect.
Honestly, the word it was just wiser. Yeah,
wisdom.
Just to be wiser. Yeah, great cafe. If you're in Chicago area, go check out Sparrow. I think it was in Naperville.
Delicious. Sparrow Coffee.
Met the owner.
Great.
I believe it was his son, Jake and Philly. Great guys, great Christian guys, and just they got a really, really good thing going. Very skillful in how they roast the coffees they select. Their aesthetic is amazing, and their brand is really cool. So check them out.
Awesome, dude.
Well, I'd say superhuman strength, but you already got that. So next. Maybe
some days I feel really strong, and some days I feel like absolutely depleted.
Yeah.
Like just a slop on the ground dragging.
Coffee, dude.
The amount of caffeine can't fuel this body. I need more than that. No, it's been good. I've been beta testing some new products for you guys. Stay tuned. We can't tell you exactly what it is yet, but we're working on a lot of really cool stuff in our company, and stuff that is beyond coffee. You know, we talk about this 5% rule in our company where coffee is only 5% of everything that we do. We want our coffee company to be so much more. And kind of moving into a new phase for our retail side specifically. And I think it's so cool what we're able to just unearth out of this facility and the team that we have. And we're beta testing some new products. And I'm currently beta testing in. And it's going to be really, really good. I'm super excited for you guys. I think it's going to change you guys' life, really open up a whole box of just a breath of fresh air with vision and give you guys exactly kind of what you thought you could get out of your life. And we're going to build it into a system.
Yeah.
So
like a roadmap to purpose.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's so good.
We've both seen a lot of changes in our lives just in the first 50 days.
Yeah.
Of running this new product and trying it out and beta testing. So, yeah. Excited.
So stay tuned. More details will come out on our social medias. We will also release, if you order our coffee already, you'll get some inserts in your order, talking more about what we're beta testing and what you guys are to start to see the beginning of a new era for the Pure Earth coffee retail side. So super excited.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Well, let's jump into it today. Yeah. What do you got?
So today, really good topic. I'll segue into it a little bit. So my thought in this is slow success. there's a quote. We got it from a friend of ours at Mill City Roasters. And every time we talk to Steve, he's the owner at Mill City, he always says, saw slow to saw fast. Mm-hmm. And it's this concept where steady, good strokes will make less waste in your life, and it'll actually move the needle faster. Yep. And a lot of people, they want everything tomorrow in this world of impulse culture. And there's actually a lot of lessons to learn in the slow success. So yeah, we're going to jump into kind of that topic a little bit. What I want to talk about are some key components in our company and in all of the people that we're developing on our team. There are some people that we have that operate really fast and pick up on things, and there's some that take more time to develop the skill sets and the characteristics and the mindset we're trying to embed into some of these guys to make them better human beings and better, just overall better purpose-driven employees. So this concept of slow success, it's not popular at all in today's culture. It's probably the least probably Googled thing on Google for any person who's trying to make money or trying to go through life and find what they want to do. But I think there's some really good key components in it. One of the key components that I've found slow success breeds into people, it breeds in character where ego would take its place. If you got something too early, too fast in your life, you would think that it would be something that you obtained, and it's me and my journey, and I'm just so good. I got this in, 60, 90 days or whatever. And fast success breeds ego, but it doesn't build foundation. And foundation is what you need to go through storms in the ecosystem of economy. You're right. Economy has ebb and flows. It has highs and it has lows. It has low periods and plateaus. And it's really, really important to have a deep foundation, because when you go through seasons and different changes from year to year in your company, if your foundation is weak, you'll crumble. And we found that out to be very true in 2025 with the whole coffee world and tariffs and the trade world in and of itself that we were going through. And we have a basic commodity, raw good that comes from Mother Earth called coffee. And we found out that tariffs soon became something of like almost a tornado to stare into, with all of the changes in pricing and supply and then taxation and import dues. Coffee was a hard business to operate. And there were times where we were just hoping to make it through the next day and the next day, and to see if we can get through it and maybe some of the economical woes can change. So that was something that I'm glad our company experienced early on, because now we have experience in some of the hardest moments of the coffee world. We had a lot of friends in the import world that had been bringing in coffee for 25, 30 years. And they said a season of this in the coffee world happens only a couple of times. One of them in particular we were talking to has had 30 years in the game, and he said this has happened 3 times. And to a point where we're sitting there and we're seeing all of our raw goods double overnight, and still having to hold a business and the foundation that everything that we do for all the cafes, churches, businesses that we supply, and that they rely upon us to keep their own business sustained. So that was something we grew up in really early, and it's not something that I think a lot of people would take on as like something they want to do. But we learned a lot of things from that. We learned that it's important to go slow and be sure than to make waste and haste. And we also learned that you got to have really good, reliable sources. When you're going to do something right, choosing the right person, the right supplier, the right partnership will make all the difference. And that's not just our vendors. That's Bailey and I. That's whoever you decide to go in business with, whoever you decide to partner with in the next venture of your life, choosing the right person when you're building that foundation so your slow success is incredibly important. And I'm going to tell a little quick story and I'll let you chime in. Sorry. But a lot of people think Bailey and I just kind of woke up and we wanted to go into business. And that's not true at all. That is not even close. Bailey's my best friend. He's been my best friend since second grade. I've known this man 20 years, 3 times longer than my wife. And when you know somebody that much, that deep, on a level, there's times that he's the best person fit for everything I need in my life. But it also scares me as much as possible because I don't want to lose the friendship we have over something like business.
Yep.
And so for a long time, I was very put off and not wanting to go into business together, even though I know he's a competitor. There's not a lot of people out there that compete on the level that Bailey does across everything in life, whether it's effort, skill set, and specialization. Bailey is incredible at that. And he's ruthless and he's relentless on taking over whatever tasks at hand. But with that, I didn't want to lose my best friend deciding to go into business with it. And that was a slow and steady saw. And that was slow success because it took so long for him to finally convince me and be like, you know what, Quentin, if life is full of risk, if life is on this plateau, this map, we'll say, and you have to choose a partner that you're going to go through life and everything and hell and back with, you're going to want to pick your ride or die. You're not going to want to pick somebody that you're okay with breaking up with. And it's the whole art of kind of like marriage almost, because there are times that I have to rely on Bailey so much. And if I chose somebody else, they wouldn't pull through, but Bailey would, because that was a slow relationship that I can put all that trust into that not a lot of people have. And it's incredibly important to go through life and have somebody like that, because you don't always get do-overs. You don't always get duplicates. And there's nobody out there, I don't think, that we could go through some of the woes we have in business and I could look in the eyes of Bailey and know that he's going to pull through for me even when I can't. And I'm going to pull through for him even when he can't. Yeah. And so that was a slow success that we had. And it's probably one of the deepest foundations that we have before all the coffee, before all the business. I've known this man 20 years. And if we were to throw in the towel on that relationship, that would be incredibly, incredibly hard. And it would be absolutely dramatic to happen in something so simple as business. And so for me, it was, to safeguard our future and our purpose. It only made sense to partner with somebody that you can fully put your trust in with. So that's
Well, I didn't know we were getting the soft, gushy cue today, but no. Thanks, buddy. That really means a lot. Those kind words. And ditto, man. I mean, these guys will never understand, I guess, the depth of our friendship. Yeah, we've just been at this thing so long, and I've got brothers. I've got 3 other brothers, blood brothers, but I'm closer to you than all of them combined, probably. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, I'm getting deeper and deeper with each of them as we all grow up and get our own interests and stuff. And but no, doing business with your best friend it's a risk. It's a roll of the dice, because if you guys don't have, going back to your foundation comment, if you don't have a foundation that's stronger than business, we were friends first, but we're deeper than that. We're brothers in Christ. In the darkest times, we helped each other grow as young men, as, adult men, as the versions of the men that we are today. And it's slow. Relationships don't just automatically become the best thing ever overnight. Like, it takes years and years of just layer after layer. So yeah, that has to be first. And if you're about to partner with somebody and you don't really genuinely know the person, I hope you're a really good judge of character, because business will mess with somebody. It will take, there's a saying that money magnifies, and when money's on the table, it magnifies the character of the person. So just be really, really cognizant of the person's character and who they are before you go into a business partnership with them. Quentin's one of the best men I know. He's arguably the best man I know. A lot of who I am, I attribute to Q. Quentin challenges my thought processes every single day. And it's like he said, it's like a marriage. It's some days I can give, 90%, he gives 10. Some days he's giving 90, I give 10. Some days it's 100% on both sides. Some days it's, bro, I'm so busy I can't do anything. I need you to do this, this, and this for me, and hey, we'll figure it out after this. And that's on top of his to-do list. So, yeah, communication's super critical. And yeah, just pick the right partners, man. Thank you for saying all that, Q. That was good.
Dude.
So, Saw Slow to Saw Fast. We have another shared business mentor that says it another way. Crawl before you walk, and walk before you run. And we both have young daughters right now, 2 and under, both of them. And they're like, my daughter's walking now. And she walks from one side of the house to the other, and she'll trip over like the littlest things in her way. And it's good. When she crawled, she could breeze right past it. She's just sliding her little legs on the ground. But now she's wobbly, right? She's not on all fours. She's on all twos. And she's walking, and the littlest thing will trip her up right now. And so I'm thinking about her, and I'm thinking about business. And in the first couple of years of starting any business, you really don't have a foundation. Even if you threw or blew the money gun and could fast track a lot of things that people worry about, you kind of shortcutted it. You shortcutted your foundation, and just make sure that if you built a scaffolding and were able to just climb up quick, make sure that you backfill that empty space. And what I mean when I say this is the backbone of every company is sales. You have to make money. Whether that's selling a service or selling a product, you have to make the money, right? When you don't have any money, it's one customer at a time, one bag of coffee at a time, one machine sale at a time. And you build and you build and you build, and you do the best you can to take really good care of your customers. When you fast track things and you have a scaffolding and you don't backfill it, your foundation crumbles. That scaffolding falls and everything crashes and burns. You have to be able to backfill that and make a really, really sturdy foundation so that when you're up top here, you stay up top. And that's just by doing a great job with your customers. Take great care of them. We go above and beyond for our customers. And if you're a customer of ours, and you don't feel like we have, reach out to us and we will. And we apologize for making you feel not taken care of at that level. So, and if you're a new customer, we will definitely do our best to take absolute best care of you. And whatever that looks like. Maybe you're a college kid with a Mr. Coffee pot that you paid $10 for at Walmart. Dude, we'll help you brew the best coffee you possibly can out of that thing. Maybe you're a cafe that's, a huge high-end cafe that wants to start up a second shop. Give us a call. We'll help out. We'll do the best we can to give you any insight on starting a cafe. But sawing slow to saw fast. It's one day at a time, one customer at a time, taking care of them to the best of your abilities today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about any balls you dropped yesterday. Just focus on doing the best you can today. And I think that's sawing slow to saw fast. You're not tripping over the littlest things. You're not sawing so fast that your blade twists and you kind of get stuck and you got to pull it out and reset it and get started over again. Like, little things don't trip you up when you're taking it day by day, and you just focus on the tasks of the day. So
that's good. It's really good. My thought was going in the saw slow to saw fast. Consistency is the most important thing when it comes to your success in the broad term. When you have slow success, you get a lot of time to be consistent.
Yeah.
When you have fast success, you don't. And consistency it's a twofold. Consistency itself will prove to somebody that you're trustworthy. And it'll also prove to somebody that you actually have a rhythm in what you're doing and it's planned events. Okay. What I mean by that, when we didn't have money in the beginning and didn't have all the excess resources we needed to spend $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month on advertising, the best consistent thing that we had was a customer of some sort. Whether that's a customer buying 1 cup of coffee at a brew event or whether they're buying wholesale, coffee, hundreds of pounds from, one of our cafes that we supply. The best consistent thing that we could do in that was to make sure we have 100% the best customer service that we can have, because that is what involves the next purchase into the next purchase. We sell a commodity. It's a consumable. And for the most part, you're going to brew it today and forget about it and brew it again the next day and forget about it. And so being in this business, it's not that we're in the business of coffee. And I would argue this across almost every business. You're not in the business of the product you sell. You're in the business of people and hospitality.
Yep.
Okay. 90% of all businesses out there can be better, have more growth, double in sales, or if you just took care of the customer really, really well and you treated it as if you wanted to be treated yourself. There's a Bible verse that we follow constantly, and it's bone simple, but a lot of people miss it, is do unto others how you would want to be done unto you, right? If you constantly have somebody else's focus on your mind, they will then gravitate towards you because you are taking care of them.
Yep.
The reason we've grown so fast across all boards in our company is we've taken care of the customer and we've done it consistently every single day. And it doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter. Resources doesn't matter. If you take care of somebody and you're consistent and you saw slow, eventually you'll find out you'll have all these people that refer you without even asking.
Yeah.
And that's how you know you've got something great. And this is not just in business. This is in any type of networking event. If you're an entrepreneur, this is important, getting clients, whether you're selling cars, whether you're selling insurance. People refer people because you take care of them, right? The backbone of everything, throw resources out there. When you have slow success, you have consistent success. And consistency is trust.
Yep.
That's what people are trying to get at. And huge lesson. That's, if I were to go back over the last 10 years, of all the companies I've built, all the companies I've been a part of, consistency was something that I didn't even begin to really, really understand until the last 3 years. And how important it is to be consistent, show up, have great experience with people, and take care of them beyond the dollar. Mm-hmm. For a lot, Bailey and I both understand finance really, really well. That's one of the things one of the foundational fabrics of our company is everything is numbers before it's anything else. But even then, there's times we sit down, and we just got done last week on the spreadsheet, where we sit down and sometimes the numbers just don't make sense. Okay. And that's okay. Because the biggest leaps that we've had in our company is when the money didn't make sense, but we knew one thing: we were going to take care of our customer. Everything else didn't matter. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about it with one of my production managers in one of our morning meetings this morning. Some of the biggest clients that we've ever embarked on came from other clients that bought 1 2Z bags. Yeah. So like a $20, $30 purchase. But because we took care of that person who showed up, who bought $20 worth of coffee, they then led us to this person, this person, this person, this person. And if you added all of that up, We're talking that one bag of coffee referred us to $80,000 of clients or more, still embarking because it's monthly buys, consistent month over month. And that one client we just took care of really, really well. And it just so happened to be the 4th day we were in business. And that one client is one of our best clients and one of our best referrals that we've ever had. And so you never know the power of consistency, the power of trust that people are trying to vet through you. And that's what it, a lot of people, they want this giant brand, or they want, everything that the big guy has all in one shot, all in 1 year. And they don't see how many times, how many stories, how many people that they've changed their lives in through one more consistent saw. And we see that every day. We've taken a note in our company that we handwrite every packing slip that comes in and out of this facility. Mm-hmm. Okay, whether you buy one bag of coffee or you buy filters, or whether you buy 10,000 pounds of coffee, you will get a handwritten note from our team every single time, because that's our consistent trust that we can put into you, that you're not just a dollar. You're a person, you're a human being, and we have so much value into you, and how you've taken care of us, we're going to take care of you. And so those are the parts that, like, slow success will teach you, that fast success overnight. Everybody looks at Instagram and the big houses and all these people throwing parties and cars and all this kind of stuff. Slow success builds immense character. Fast success builds ego. You need to understand that in life. And when you take it from a perspective of, okay, I have this goal in my head, whatever this goal may be, it's something that you wake up and you think about constantly. I'm going to do a mind game with you real quick. If that was given to you in the first 60 days or 90 days, I promise you would feel the weight of stress of all the decisions you have to make for that to sustain itself in your life. Mm-hmm. Okay, when you get fast success, you don't understand, hey, I need to do this, and this. I'll give you an example. If we had 1 million orders come in tomorrow, we'd find out a lot of our system would break. Okay? It's not that to say that we have a drive to get to that in our company's lifetime, right? But we would have issues having the coffee show up at our door, have issues roasting the coffee, and have issues sending the coffee out to you guys. Yep. And we would have a Teams issue. I think we would break literally we would break every system except for finance. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of you guys want big dreams, and that's amazing. That is the most wonderful thing ever, to see vision in a big way. But understand there's a cost and there's a price to pay. And if you got it too fast, you would break your system. Mm-hmm. We understand that we want to go somewhere. And because we see where we want to go now, we can cast that vision. And I can understand 5 years from now, we're going to have, if we're hiring this many people per this quarter on this system, 5 years from now, we may have 10 times the team. Can we handle 1 million orders or 1 million pounds of coffee at that point? Probably. Because we sawed slow. Mm-hmm. Slow success builds character. Fast success builds ego. And ego crumbles under the weight of any type of storm you have come your way. So that's kind of my note on there. That's something that I want to get across to the people listening to The Pursuit. And that's not just in business. That's in everything in life. Mm-hmm. If you tell me, this may sound kind of out there, but tell me you went to a strip club, you fell in love with a girl on the pole, and then 2 nights later you got married and you decided you have 40 years of marriage in you guys. It's probably not true. Because it takes time to develop those things, right? Time is not your problem. You need to have a perspective incorporating time. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton to unpack in all that. The principles of compounding and compounding effort. Man, I had a thought while you were talking about the hospitality side of things. You know, young guys are always getting inundated with, if they're into like business and success and entrepreneurship content on the internet, they get inundated with, oh, real estate, passive income, all that stuff. And when we were young men, we went the whole stock market, real estate, learn all about it, and passive income was always shoved down our throats. Honestly, the best version of passive income is doing the work up front so that your customers have a great experience and will buy from you forever because they love your brand. That's passive income. And then they go out and get 10 other customers throughout their lifetime of being a customer, and they all do the same thing. I think business is the ultimate passive income, but I don't know, maybe a hot take.
It's active and passive.
Yeah.
Because we build a brand, our company generates revenue while we sleep. Okay, because we're on the internet. Any time zone, we'll take your check out.
Yep.
It's active because we had to build the systems. We had to put the 10,000 hours in before that order ever came in to then have a fulfillment process to where when you place your order, 24 hours later, it's being processed or even sooner. And then probably within 72 hours, it's on your doorstep.
Yeah.
And that coffee is 3 days old, okay? From just the time it was in the roaster to then delivered to you. Most people don't understand what it takes to have a system built for speed of that sense and the depth you need to have. So a lot of people can do it once. But okay, if you had 100 orders come in, can you still get that in the 72-hour time frame? And that's where saw slow to saw fast. We understood we needed a scale. We need everything is a scale and everything is an opportunity. And every time we've hit a point in our company where we had a lot of magnitude, we understood we had to pull back, reevaluate our systems, and upgrade one of them. That's exactly how our company was built over time. And sometimes the upgrade is in manpower. Sometimes the upgrade is in equipment. Sometimes the upgrade is in fulfillment or even customer service. Each time we've had a magnitude, we've had a pullback. And that's where I love when, because I'm a creative. I love downtime. Because then I get to fill it with everything I want to do. And I was chatting with a cafe owner a couple of days ago, and she was talking about her problems with her cafes. She's got multiple locations. One's mobile, one's brick and mortar, and they're thinking about opening up another brick and mortar. She was talking about, maybe I need this, maybe I need that. And one of her main locations is a seasonal location. It's on a lake, and so it does really, really well in the summer months, spring, summer, a little bit in the fall, but it tanks on the winter. And the hardship with that is, okay, we can either increase the volume in the summertime, but then your equipment's then at stake because you don't have the scale for that. Or what we can do is try to find a way to generate income in the off months. But the hard thing is when you're an owner operator and you're somebody who's still small but yet big enough to break the system, you don't have the manpower and the people to pull you away and say, hey, I need to focus all my energy on this system. And there's times that our company has definitely done that. And I was sitting there chatting with her over an Americano, iced Americano that morning. And I was like, you know what you really need? It's like, you just need some strategy. I think you're the right person in the right locations. You may need a little bit more manpower, some people, some recruitment, but I think you've just been viewing it from the wrong perspective. And the best value I could give to somebody like that was hospitality. I needed to take her out of her own company for one moment and not look at the coffee that she's trying to sell you. And I was like, you don't sell coffee, you sell hospitality. And I was like, I'm going to blow your mind up right now. She was asking me for marketing advice. And I could go down a line, tell you I went to school for marketing, all this stuff, spent a lot of money, wasted a lot of money. the best marketing advice I've ever gotten was from the movie, I think it's called The Founder, and it's the story of McDonald's and their upbringing. And there's a pivotal point in that moment where the guy came up to Ray Kroc and he's like, "You don't sell hamburgers. You're in the business of real estate." Mm-hmm. And it was a absolute mind bender, because when he thought he was trying to sell one hamburger, he didn't understand that the soil underneath that was the most valuable part that he had in his entire existence of his company. And so when they took that perspective and then they put it back in the systems, McDonald's today is probably one of the largest real estate landowners in the entire world. Mm-hmm. Okay. They make money off the burgers. They make money off of the building, the people, and the appreciation of the land, because they own the real estate. So taking that, dropping it into her mindset, I was like, "Honey, you don't sell coffee. You sell hospitality." What I mean by that is people don't come to you for coffee. You can go within 10 miles and find 100 shops. Why do people come to you versus everybody else? It's not because of coffee.
How you feel.
Your coffee is not 2% better. That's why I go.
Yep.
Your coffee is when I walk up, you address me by name.
Yep.
You know me, you know my order, and you make good small talk or even engaging talk with somebody, because they feel like they're wanted, and it's the experience that you have.
Yeah.
That's why people buy coffee. It's the experience more than anything else. And when I was trying to give that focus to her, and I was like, "You need to market to your customers just better." And I was like, when you make your customers feel so innately amazing every time they grab a cup of coffee, they will refer 10 more people. And it's this branch of recruitment that she didn't understand. Her biggest marketing value was right in front of her, and that was her daily customers.
Yeah.
If you can remarket back to them, take care of them incredibly well, and then probe them into what we call a refeed program of taking your best customers and asking for them to refer you in exchange for value or something. If you're in the world of coffee, let's say you've got a specialty item on your menu, or you create a menu item that's not on the menu and it's exclusive, and you say, "Hey, thank you for being a great customer for all these years. You always show up on time, buy the coffee, you smile. Here's something off of an exclusive menu, only for you. This is our appreciation." Now you've opened up a door to them that they didn't realize was ever open, and that person will go home, because we're in the world of convenience. Mm-hmm. That person will just feel touched like no one else has ever touched them before. How many times have you gotten on Amazon and you checked out your order and it shows up the next day and you got exactly what you ordered or less? Okay? Every time. But how many times have you opened up an Amazon package and you got more than what you ordered? Never. So, my advice, go above and beyond. When you do that for your customers, I'm telling you, you don't need $10,000 in ad spend. You just need to take care of your customer better.
Yeah.
And probe them to ask for referrals. It's not, if they already love your coffee, I promise you, they're not going to refer you a junkie on the side of the street. They're going to refer their best friend into this company. And so not only do you have, let's say you have 100 loyal customers, and they're the best customers you have. When you ask those 100 to recruit, not to recruit, to refer you, they're going to recruit their best friends. And you can take all the trust you have in them and download it straight into the new referral. And now you've doubled your business. Congratulations. That's a freebie. That was something I was developing into her. And I was like, you need to take this from a whole different perspective. And you need to see it from, go back to the drawing board. It's not about this gimmick, that gimmick, this bullet, this silver bullet, this golden goose. It's people. go back to the bare bones of people. And I laid it out for her, and I gave her an entire success playbook that we give all of our cafes, because that's our above and beyond, is we want you to be successful. And because you're successful, we're successful, and that's where we learned that really early on, because we had no customers. I love it. The brain does wild creative things when you have no customers. You can either do one of two things. You can either be down in the dumps and pout about, oh man, no one's buying from me. Or you can build an insane, beautiful system where it takes care of the people that do buy from you. And when you do that, you'll find out, oh wow, I can double in 6 months. Just do it really, really well. You need to be the best in your category for that, taking care of people. Mm-hmm. And that's not just business. I'm not just talking to business owners. I'm talking to anybody out there who's an entrepreneur, blue collar, white collar, lawyer, doctor. How do you get more clients? Take care of people. How do you get more people on your team? Take care of people.
Yep. No, it all stems from whatever you do it as if working for the Lord and not for man, because it forces you to give your best effort in anything you do. It's really interesting too, that cafe owner, she never would have even heard you get there if she hadn't slowed down to hear what you had to say. She could have just given you the coffee and turned around and walked away. Mm-hmm. But instead she sat and she slowed down. And that's why I think there's a lot of hope for her, because she's willing to slow down to speed up. She's willing to sacrifice, the few extra transactions she could have made that day to actually focus in on what system can I scale and improve to actually do what I'm trying to do to the best of my abilities, and that is to serve customers. She's going to be a wild success.
Oh yeah.
And she's willing to slow down to speed up.
I'm going to say one more thing in that.
Yeah.
The only reason I was able to sit there and have that hour-long conversation with her was because it was slow. Mm-hmm. If she was moving 10,000 drinks, I wouldn't have had the conversation with her. No. But I promise you that conversation I had with her will change her business and the trajectory that she's on for the rest of her life.
Well, and that's why it's so important for young men, young women to, if you're trying to learn a new skill, if you're trying to do anything worthwhile, you've got to do it in the quiet times. You got to do it in your creative times. Those are the times when our business really moves forward, because Q gets to think, or when I get to think. We get these ideas and we build these ideas out in the quiet moments when it's slow. If you're constantly turning and burning drinks, if you're constantly today for me, I was wrenching on machines all day long. I didn't get to sit down and think and strategize and build out documentation, SOPs, all the things that I do. I didn't have time to do that. So when you slow down, that's when you really get to move the needle. And you get to focus on the high leverage activities, not just the stuff that has to get done. And for all the non-business owners out there, let's say you're an athlete. You don't just, pick up the pigskin and you can automatically throw it 100 yards or kick a 70-yard field goal. You got to start at the 20, then the 30, then the 40, and you might get stuck at the 40 for a little bit, but when you keep trying, when you keep showing up day after day, you'll get to the 42, and then the 45, and then the 50, and on and on and on. It's continuously showing up, even when you're hitting brick walls. Even when your efforts have plateaued and everything you're working towards just seems like it's not working in your favor, that's where the winners are built. That's where the champions are made, is when you're an inch from gold and you're digging. If you're the one who just gives up and turns around and goes home, and you're this close to striking gold, to hitting that diamond, there's that cartoon image of the two guys with the little pickaxe, little cartoons, and there's a diamond on the one side, and this guy was super close, and he's got his head hung and his pickaxe on his shoulder, and he's walking away, and the other guy strikes one more time and lands it. He gets the diamond. I love that image because it's so true. If you just don't quit, you'll make it happen.
Mm-hmm. You'll consistent.
Get there. Yeah. and you're learning along the way. You're constantly iterating, you're constantly adapting, you're constantly changing your mind for the better so that you can get to your end goal. And back to the athlete thing, maybe your diet is this and you have to change it to this to really get to that next level. Maybe you're not sleeping 8 hours when you're only sleeping 6. Maybe that's the only thing you need to do is get that much more recovery. It always takes a little bit of a mindset shift to get to that next level, but it only happens when you slow down. You don't find the epiphany, you don't find that light bulb moment when you're going Speedy Gonzalez Mach 2, trying to get everything under the sun done in the 24 hours that you had today. It just doesn't happen that way. Unless you've spent a bunch of time beforehand planning that day to be executed in that way. But that still is in line with the concept we're talking about.
It was on a Saturday morning. I went outside, had time to go for a walk. And when I went for a walk, we live out in the country. And so these roads are long and there's tons of cornfields and lots of sky and clouds and just really, really beautiful fresh air. And I was on a walk, and that's where I embarked on the future of our retail side of our company. And now we're in beta testing for it, and we're breaking it. We're breaking the system constantly on purpose to refine it, to make it better and consistent, and to really help you guys, bring value to you guys, and take care of you guys. Because remember, it's always about going back to taking care of people. And this was for me, this was a burgers to real estate moment. And I was like, we've been trying to sell coffee for so long. I'm not in the business of selling coffee. I'm in the business of hospitality and taking care of my customer. Well, if I see it from that perspective, and I'm on this walk, and there's a ginormous epidemic that Bailey and I are in front of right now, and that's our generation, and what that'll look like 20, 30 years from now. What am I doing today to change that? And that's when I was like, you know what? God knew this whole entire time. It was never about coffee. Mm-hmm. It was not even close. We are in the business of changing lives and helping people embark that in their own life. And so with this next product we're coming out with, it's a complete shift, a complete change of perspective. And I love it because it's just like, this is kind of a meme thing, but like never let them know your next move type of deal. This is definitely a never let them know your next move, because this is nothing like what you can ever thought. A lot of people thought we were coming out with another coffee. You just don't even know what we're about to embark on. And I'm excited, and it like really lifts my bones up, because I'm like, this is why God had us move in this direction. And this from the beginning all makes sense, because we were able to slow down and listen, and slow down and think. And that's the slow success. If God gave me that vision 4 years ago of where our companies ought to go 10 years from now, we would have never built the roastery. We would have skipped the whole coffee side. But we needed the roastery, we needed the coffee to be the backbone, the foundation, and then we needed to build a skyscraper on top of that. And that's where we're headed. And it all makes sense now, but you have to go slow to see the vision unfold, to see everything that you're really, really a part of. And it's so amazing, because there's so much, sometimes you can be, like what Bailey said, inches from gold, and not even realize the next 2 months would change the entire trajectory of the next 30 years of your life. And I was sitting down and I was thinking about this, and I was talking with our production manager. And I was like, you know what? If I go out and tell 10,000 people about this tomorrow, probably 20% of them might believe we can maybe actually pull it off. But that's because their time perspective is completely wrong. They think we can pull it off in 30 days or 60 days and 90 days. And it's true, we can't. But if I took 20 years of my life and I said, this is all that I'm going to do, I'm going to invest in the people and disciple them and grow them and embark vision and dreams and the future in them. And you give me 20 years, I promise you we're going to pull it off. You give me 10 years, you give me 5 years, we're going to pull it off. And that was the change. Slow success changes the whole trajectory of how you can complete something. And a lot of people are going to be right about you failing, in the first 90 days. It's 100% true. But if I did this every day for 5, 6, 10, 20 years, I'm going to be the best in the business because my consistent saw every day. So if I were to let you take home something from this podcast, slow success is not what you prayed for, but it's what you need. 100%. And you got to solve slow to solve fast. And don't make waste of the empty time you have. That empty time is where you embark on a whole new level of your company, yourself, your individual, your marriage, your profession. Take that time and to slow down and think. And maybe your perspective is completely wrong and you don't even know it until you get there. That's a great place to be.
Really well said, man. Really well said. That was a good wrap up. Well, hey guys, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Pursuit podcast. I'm Bailey. This is Quentin, and if you don't know us by now you do. And stay tuned. We got a lot more stuff coming, like you said. Stay tuned for the latest episodes. You can click the link down below for future episodes and past episodes as well. But
I'm going to say one last thing. If you guys have gotten value from these podcasts, please do share them. Mm-hmm. That is everything. We want to get the word out to everybody and help them on their life and their journey and their path. So share the link. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.
I'll see ya.